Republicans are trying to pass sweeping legislation that would cut about $1.5 trillion in taxes over the next 10 years. But all those cuts could add a significant chunk to federal budget deficits, a move that would seem counter to years of Republican criticism of the deficits accumulated during the Obama administration. How much the tax plan could add to the deficit? $10.1 trillion projected deficits over the next 10 years under current law. $1.5 trillion cost of tax cuts proposed by Congress. $10.1 trillion projected deficits over the next 10 years under current law. $1.5 trillion cost of tax cuts proposed by Congress. In the Congressional Budget Office's analysis of the Senate tax bill, the cuts would add $1.414 trillion to the deficit by 2027. The Senate bill's cumulative cost source. Congressional Budget Office. In a 2018 budget blueprint passed by Congress, lawmakers allowed enough room to lose about $1.5 trillion in revenue, but Republicans have said that the proposed tax legislation is designed to pay for itself. They have argued that economic growth spurred by the cuts would make up for the difference in tax revenue, eventually reducing the deficits. But there is no consensus among economists about the amount of growth that would occur, and few estimate that the bill would generate enough economic growth to offset the drop in tax revenue. To measure the macroeconomic effects of the Senate tax plan, economists have produced estimates both with and without factoring in economic growth caused by the cuts. The results are produced using varying economic assumptions and show a wide range of estimated costs. In the Senate version of the tax plan, estimates vary widely from the University of Pennsylvania's Penn Wharton budget model to the Conservative Tax Foundation, whose models tend to assume large growth effects. But both show that even when factoring in economic growth, the tax bill would not pay for itself. Senate bill cost including economic growth. Cost including economic growth. Cost including economic growth. Note: cost estimates with growth effects are not yet available from the Joint Committee on Taxation. The Joint Committee on Taxation, Congress's official estimator of tax legislation, is expected this week to release a cost estimate that includes economic growth estimates for the House version of the plan, which passed with 227 Republican yes votes on November 16, also vary widely, but each shows the bill costs more than $1 trillion even when accounting for economic growth. House bill cost including economic growth. Cost including economic growth. Cost including economic growth. While the Senate and House bills have similar cost estimates, they include notable policy differences. The Senate version has expiration dates for some provisions, like individual tax cuts, and it includes the repeal of the Affordable Care Act's individual mandate. Some Senate Republicans have expressed concerns about their bill's deficits. Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee, who voted Tuesday to advance the bill through a budget committee, is pushing to include in the final legislation some kind of safeguard that would trigger automatic tax increases if economic growth fails to cover the cost.